BMore Lifestyle. Now, here are your hosts, Chardell Moore and Christina Denny.
Valentine's Day just around the corner. You might be thinking about making that first move with a romantic interest, or maybe hoping that somebody special asks you out.
Exactly. But what if you're throwing mixed signals? I'm just saying, here to give us some body language tips is the human whisper. Steven, Kyle, what's up?
Welcome.
Not much. How are you guys doing?
Good.
Doing
Can you
very
tell that we're
well.
like super excited for this segment?
You're very excited, but also very relaxed. Very good.
Oh, good. I was going to ask, do I look approachable? I'm like super like overthinking everything that I do now.
Very approachable. Very approachable.
So let's talk about your background. So interesting.
Okay. Well, I've always been fascinated with human behavior, and not only what we do, but why we do it. And I spent 20 plus years in the intelligence community, where my professional and personal interest has sort of coalesced, and I've been able to ask and answer some of those questions.
Right. So I know, because I majored in hearing and speech sciences, that verbal language is such a small part of our communication. What is the actual amount of our communication that comes down to body language?
Well, that's funny, because there are studies, the original study that showed only a tiny fraction is verbal. It's actually more of our body language, or I should say less of our body language makes up the whole picture than what is previously thought. And for example, but what really is the important point is it depends on how well the person receiving the information can get it. If they're unaware of your body language, then all they're getting is your verbal cues.
It's just
then
right
it's just right over their head. They're not going to get any of it. Right.
Gotcha. So the faces that we make obviously are given an energy, are given a vibration. So we need to be mindful of that. I'm just saying.
Absolutely. And a lot of like facial gestures and things can be obvious to people, like a look of contempt or a look of happiness. But a lot of body language is very subtle. For example, take something simple like crossing the arms. If I cross my arms, this is a defensive signal that I'm not really open to what you're saying. However, if you change it to this, okay, and you'll see people do this. They'll sort of cross their arms this way. This is a form of self-hugging, and it's a way to soothe yourself when you're anxious or nervous.
Okay.
So just small changes can make big difference in the meaning of body language.
Yeah. Right. So can we get into that more? Let's talk about like the negative things that we could do versus some of the more positive things to, you know, relay that we're interested.
Well, as far as the negative, well, the positive is probably the best place to start.
Okay.
Do you mind if I switch that around?
Of course.
The positive, as far as body language in a romantic context, as we're approaching Valentine's Day, often it starts with a look, you know, and typically a woman's success in this area is dependent on her ability to project and those various nonverbal cues. And a man's ability in this area is dependent on his ability to interpret and decode those signals largely. Okay?
You listening?
So it'll often begin with a look, and she's hoping he'll reciprocate that look, and if he does, she'll hold that look for a few seconds and then maybe look away. But of course, men are, how shall I say it, stupid when it comes to a lot of this.
Let's keep it 100. Okay.
Okay, and so it often will take 2 or 3 attempts before a man realizes, oh, I should maybe approach this. Right, oh, me, right, exactly. So there's a lot of that goes on. And then, but as far as some of the things that are less commonly known as far as body language, when you're talking to a woman, when a man and woman are talking, and a woman is stroking her neck, or maybe she's rubbing her leg or stroking her neck or something, that's a signal that if the man plays his cards right, he might be able to do the same thing, okay? Something else, right. And a handbag is a very big indicator, and this is a big secret. A lot of women don't even realize they're doing it, but handbag placement is huge. If you're speaking to someone and there's a woman's handbag is right between you, and she moves it out of the way, that's a very good signel that it's warm and open.
Opening the channel.
However, if she takes it and puts it behind her chair, thinking you're gonna, okay, that's probably a bad sign. So again, it's contextual. Another great sign: women will often cross a leg and they'll dangle their shoe by the toes. That's, again, a very good sign that she's enjoying the conversation and would like it to continue.
Interesting.
Right.
It makes sense, because sometimes it's just like you want to show a little leg action, show your sexiness and confidence.
Exactly.
I do that, I'm not even going to lie.
So we can do all those things on our part, move our bag out of the way, dangle our foot a certain way to kind of get that message across to the guys who are a little slow in our lives.
Right.
We can't forget the fellas, though, so give us some tips.
Well, for the fellas, it's largely about them interpreting the signals that are coming their way, and if they're able to do that, they'll be more successful. But as far as you trying to interpret their body language, if a man will try to impress a woman, and one of the ways they do that non-verbally is to take up space. So if you see a man trying to take,
yes.
right, exactly, taking up a lot of space, that's their ham-handed attempt to impress you and let you know that they are somebody.
Interesting.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Wow.
So.
Anything else that we need to know?
Well, as far as
what are some things we should not do? So we shouldn't close ourselves off.
right,
Is there
Unless
anything else
that's the
we
type
should
of
avoid?
energy we want to put out there.
other negative body language, going back to the touching and how things are very subtle. If a woman is touching, of course my tie's covering it up, but that little notch at the base of the neck, when a woman is touching this, that usually means she's stressed and anxious and not particularly interested in the conversation. She might also be rubbing a necklace or something. That means she's not interested. Also, a big sign for both men and women as far as a negative sign, one of the biggest indicators of if somebody's into you or not, and this is one that few people know about, watch the feet.
Okay.
The feet will always point to an object of interest, whether that's another person or the exit or something else. Always watch the feet.
So if somebody even subtly is just like scoots this way,
exactly.
probably not
right.
a great sign.
If your feet are pointed
I mean,
this
it makes
way,
sense.
you want to. You're not interested in this conversation and would like to leave. Even if you facially and in every other way you look like you're invested in it,
Right.
watch the feet. It'll never lie.
Okay,
Brilliant.
so we learned so much from this segment,
Yes.
and this is just a sneak peek of what we can expect in this book, right?
Absolutely. The book, The Human Whisperer, just talks only in part about body language, but it also talks about how to improve your charisma and how to utilize tools of influence and persuasion.
Wow, and that's
Wow, I'm
all
gonna pick that
tied
one up.
together.
And it's all tied together. Absolutely.
This is
Fantastic.
awesome. This was a great segment.
I've learned so much
Me
today.
too.
Is there anywhere we can go? We see there's a website up on your screen. We can learn more there.
Absolutely. You can go to StephenKyle.com and you can get the book on Amazon as well.
Hey,
Thank you so much, Stephen.
Thank you so much,
I
Christina
want to read
Chardell.
this book.
Thank you.
Yes.
I
step
know.
up my
Now I'm
life.
going to be super conscious
Right?
of what I'm doing.
Okay, so let me get my body language together.
Toes towards you guys.